Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. So I'm really excited about this episode today because it is going to be the most fascinating insights from Inside of a Dog by Alexandra Horowitz. I read this book last year while we were RVing around and I marked all my favorite sections. I even made a few shorts along the way. They were some of my most popular of why doesn't your dog watch TV? What do kisses from your dog really mean? And why your dog can't see objects right in front of them. And for long videos, I made one about a dog's amazing sense of smell, and Why They Play was inspired from reading this book. This book dives deep into what your dogs see, smell, know, offering a totally new perspective on how we experience the world together. I think every dog owner should read this if they're interested in understanding your dog and learning how to communicate with them. But if you enjoy watching videos over reading, then you've come to the right place. I'm going to break down each chapter or meaningful sections or really cool examples that I want to share. So I'll share all of the best takeaways and how you can apply them to better understand your pup. All right, let's dive in. I want to start by defining the word Umwelt, which is used consistently throughout this book. It's a term used to describe the unique sensory world of animals. The word comes from the German term meaning environment or surrounding world, but in this context, it refers specifically to the way each species experiences the world based on its sensory abilities. So Horowitz explains that every animal, including dogs, perceives the world differently due to their biology. So for instance, dogs have an olfactory-driven Umwelt, meaning their primary mode of experiencing the world is through smell rather than sight, as is more common in humans. Understanding a dog's Umwelt allows us to better comprehend their behavior and interaction with their environment. We as owners need to step into the perspective of a dog's Umwelt. We can appreciate how differently they see, hear, smell the world, which is essential to understanding them as better companions. Humans tend to project our own emotions and preferences onto dogs. So the one example she gives is the raincoat example. So dogs can go out into the rain. Their coats do not need protection from the rain, but we assume because they don't want to go out that a jacket might help. The issue with the jacket is that they may be willing to put it on, but it may be for other reasons, like they're excited about the idea of a walk signal or close attention from mom or dad. It doesn't necessarily mean that they like the jacket. The other issue is the rubbing of the hood at the top and back of the neck is actually a force of submission, felt by fighting, playing with dogs. By putting the jacket on them, you're forcing them into submission, not necessarily a good thing or what you think that you're doing for them. Another piece of this section that I really enjoyed was the idea of replacing behavior reading with instinct reading. Determine what your dog can perceive, what they can see, hear, smell, or sense otherwise. Only objects that are perceived can have meaning to your dog. The rest are not even noticed or looked at the same. So think of the meaning of things. So she talks about tones, specifically functional tones. The big pillow that you may call a bed looks like a sleeping tone. The couch, a sleeping tone. The pile of blankets, a sleeping tone. But with mom and dad's big comfy bed, it is more than just a sleeping tone. It also makes me warm and it smells of mom and dad, but they both seem awfully interesting, which makes me interested in the bed. It takes the training of mom telling me over and over that my bed is the big pillow and no to the big comfy bed that I really want to be in. So within this section is also the piece that I got the script for the short video that I made, the meaning of kisses from your dog or licks. It's one of my most popular videos. I love that video. Some people did not like that my dog was kissing me, but get over it. It's fine. So this video, I'll just read the script, but before getting Willa, I read a lot about how you shouldn't get frustrated about licking, so I normally will let her lick me as much as she likes, but not on my face because I break out easily. But now I want to let her. Let me tell you why. Licking the face actually comes from wolf pups licking their mother's face upon return from a hunt to lick the blood and guts from her face, but also as a welcomed relief that their mom returned home safe. At this point, mom would regurgitate the rabbit or whatever else was hunted for her pups to enjoy. So if your pup licks your face, you can rest easy knowing that your dog sees you as their mother. And if you've just finished eating, it is her instinct as a wolf pup to lick the food that remains on your face. It also should be seen as a welcome, so if you come home and receive licks, that your dog is relieved that you've returned home safe, and she's letting you know by her licks. Belonging to a house. A dog is an animal domesticated, meaning belonging to the house. Dogs belong around, they belong inside, they are no longer a wild animal. The dog's role within the human household and their adaptability in navigating human spaces. This chapter emphasizes how dogs not only live in human homes, but also become deeply integrated into our domestic environments. They are often regarded as family members. The dog is a member of a human social group. Its natural environment is meant to be among people and other dogs. Dogs' exposure in the first few months is critical for social learning. They learn who is an ally, dog or stranger. They learn how to behave in the house. And it is common that dogs show a preference for the primary caregiver over others. Horowitz explains that the dog's understanding of home in a way that aligns with their pack mentality. For them, the house represents a den, a safe, central place where they return after exploring their environment. Their senses of belonging is linked to being close to their human family, where they seek comfort, security, and social bonds. She also reflects on how dogs navigate complex human environments like stairs, doors, furniture, and schedules, while adjusting their natural behaviors to fit human expectations. For example, they may modify instinctual behaviors such as where and how to rest, eat, or even play in response to household rules and routines. This chapter provides insight into how dogs seamlessly fit into our lives and how their presence in the home further enhances the human-animal bond. Sniff, sniff. Oh my God. Sniff, sniff. As we see the world, the dog smells it. This is one of the key sentences in this book that I highlighted. As we see the world, the dog smells it. The world of sense is at least as rich as the world of sight. Like, let those things sink in. That's just crazy that our sight and how we see the world, just think that when your dog's sniffing along the ground, that's how she's seeing the world around her. This is actually what Horowitz calls the dog's most important sense, which is, of course, their nose. Did you know that dogs have 300 million olfactory receptors compared to our measly 6 million? Dogs don't just smell in the way that we think, they see through their nose. Sheepdog noses have over 200 million and beagle noses over 300 million. They not only have more cells, but they have more kinds of cells to detect and decode the world around them. Smell dominates their understanding of the world. The nose is also the fastest route by which information can get to their brain. A dog's sniff can detect subtle changes like a person's mood or even the passing of time, thanks to odor changes in the environment. Sweat under stress carries a specific odor. Adrenaline increases blood flow. Dogs have become skilled readers of our behavior. Their ability to differentiate various smells is far superior to ours. A sniff to them is like a glance to us, providing detail and valuable information. So the best example of this, I absolutely love this. It's called the rose example. So we see a red rose, a green thorny stem with a flowery scent and petals tightly wound. A dog can't see the difference between red and green. Instead, they can smell the cells that left by the bee from 2 days ago. They can tell the difference between the bee from 2 days ago and the wasp who just left an hour ago. And another big learning for me was that dogs sniff other animals' pee to understand personalized information about the animal. The prevailing myth is the message that this is mine or that dogs urinate to mark territory. When a dog runs up and sniffs deeply up against you, the sniff sniff can be thought of Mom, is that really you? Or if they're smelling a dog's pee, they're analyzing that that's a male dog, that they come to this place often. Maybe they've been here 20 minutes ago, but they also came 2 days ago. So they're able to collect so much information about other dogs. So my biggest takeaway for this point of the sniff chapter, when you walk your dog, just like let them sniff. It's how they gather information about the world around them. A walk is not just about exercise. I'm sure you've seen those videos a lot. The walk for them, like sniffing for an hour, is way more exercise than them running around for 20 minutes. So let them explore their world through smell, rushing them on walks actually limit the way that they get to experience the world. This one was so funny to me, the mute chapter, because one of the questions are dogs mute? And if you've seen Willow, she's so loud, she's so chatty. I feel like, so is our dogs mute, or are they talking up a storm? And they're 100% talking up a storm. Willow is so chatty. So if you have a Vizsla, I'm sure you already know that obviously they're not mute. They're constantly moaning and groaning and making every effort to communicate with you. Communication is only sometimes with a range of hearing or even vocal. It's often made through body language, using limbs, head, eyes, tails, or the entire body, or even surprising forms of changing color, urinating, defecating, or making oneself larger or smaller. Noticing this behavior allows you to be more in tune with your dog's communication style. So how dogs communicate with us and each other? While they do not use a spoken language like humans, they are far from being silent. So let's break down the various forms of canine communication, both vocal and non-vocal. So whimpers, growls, squeaks, and chuckles. Horowitz points out that dogs have a wide array of vocalizations, each serving a purpose. Whimpers may indicate submission, fear, or discomfort, while growls can be a sign of warning or playfulness depending on the context. She also mentions that subtle sounds that dogs make, such as squeals or what can even sound like chuckles during play, which are unique ways that dogs express emotions or intentions. Low moans or grunt are also very common in puppies and seem not to be a sign of pain, but rather a kind of dog purr. Not intentionally produced, but it does affirm your bond with your puppy. The woof, the common bark or woof, is perhaps the most familiar vocalization. She explains in the book that barking is often a communicative tool directed at humans, shaped by domestication. The relative scarcity of barking in wolves, some theorize that dogs have developed a more elaborate barking language precisely in order to communicate with humans. Like, how crazy is that? That's wild. So dogs have actually learned that barking gets human attention and conveys a variety of messages. So they've literally learned to speak for us, from being excited or alert, depending on the pitch, frequency, and context. For us, you guys know Willow will bark at strangers approaching the house if she feels like she's scared, if she sees a bear. Those are really good communication. She doesn't bark unless it's something that she's really serious about, and that's a really great way for us to communicate. So there's stranger barks, which is the lowest pitch and the harshest. They are nearly spat out, well designed to send a message over distance. Isolation barks, higher frequency and more variable. They sound fearful. I've definitely heard these before. They're like the most heartbreaking sound I've ever heard in my life. Play barks, high frequency, happen more often one after another. They are directed at someone else, either a dog or a human playmate. Willa, sometimes when she gets really worked up when we're training or playing, she will sometimes let out a little play bark. Body and tail. Canine communication extends beyond vocal sounds. A dog's body, posture, tail position, and movements are central to expressing mood and intentions. For example, a wagging tail can indicate excitement or friendliness, but the speed and position and stiffness of the wag also conveys nuances such as nervousness or cautious curiosity. Inadvertent and intentional communication. Dogs communicate with intention, such as barking or direct tail wag aimed at an individual, while other actions are less deliberate. For instance, dogs may unintentionally give cues, like a slow, relaxed tail wag that reveals contentment, even if they're not consciously trying to communicate that feeling. So I absolutely love this one passage from the book, so I'm just going to read a direct quote. There is no awkwardness in a shared silent moment with a dog. A gaze from the dog on the other side of the room, laying sleepily alongside each other. It is when language stops that we connect most fully. Which I totally agree. I love cuddling with Willa. This chapter serves as a reminder of how nuanced and rich canine communication is, despite their inability to speak like a human. By understanding these cues, we can enhance our bond with our dog and become better dog owners, attuned with their unspoken language. Dogs have evolved to see and hear differently from humans. Contrary to popular belief, dogs are actually not colorblind. They just see on a different color spectrum, mainly blues and yellows. So if you've ever seen the show Bluey, dogs can see those colors just fine. But they excel in detecting movement, and they can see really well at night and in low light conditions. So dogs will see on a 250 to 270 degree, contrasted to humans, which we are 180 degrees. So that's for peripheral and for movement. So why do dogs overlook objects right in front of them? Things directly in front of the dog's face are visible to them, but they're not quite as sharply in focus as they would be for us. They just don't have the vision. But if they step back, then the object will come into focus. Dogs make eye contact and look at us for information about the location of food, about our emotions, about what's happening in the world around them. Wolves avoid eye contact. Dogs inspect our faces for information, reassurance, and guidance. So it is believed that wolves selected for domestication and selective breeding were likely the wolf pups that made eye contact with humans, creating a deep connection and being chosen by the human, which is just amazing. So another part I found interesting were why dogs have no interest in TV, which is so funny because I posted this video and so many of you said my dog definitely watches TV. Willow does not, she has no interest in TV, so this part resonated me. Of course, I'm sure some of your dogs do watch TV. Flicker fusion rate is just too slow for them. So dogs have a higher flicker fusion rate than humans do, 70 or 80 cycles per second. So we must seem just a little slow. Our responses to the world are a split second behind dogs. So I think of this all the time when Willa is running through trees. Her decision making is so fast. She's so agile, and it's because she actually can see the world faster than I can. And now for their ears. Their ears are sensitive to higher frequencies and distant sounds, which gives them the ability to hear things that we can't. They have ultrasonic hearing. Dogs can hear the navigational chirping of rats in the walls and the bodily vibration of termites within the walls. That compact fluorescent light that you installed to save energy, you may not hear the hum, but your dog probably can. So they have exceptional hearing to the world around them. Except when I ask Willa to do a command. Somehow she just can't hear me, but she can hear things so far away. It's funny how convenient it can be for dogs. The key insight on this part is that dogs may not see the vibrant colors we do, but they are experts at picking up on quick movements. Their hearing is much more sensitive, allowing them to hear things like distant footsteps or a door creaking open. The mind of a dog. Dogs have an incredible ability to read human emotions and intentions. Horowitz explains that dogs interpret subtle human cues like facial expressions, body posture, tone of voice. They are constantly monitoring us for signals on how to behave. Emphasizing that a wagging tail doesn't always mean happiness, it could indicate excitement, anxiety, or other complex emotions. The way you move and speak around your dog influences their behavior. They pick up on your emotions, so being calm and consistent in your actions can help them feel safe and secure in your presence. Learn your dog's signals, so watch their posture, ear position, tail movements. Being attentive to their body language will help you better understand how they're feeling and when they're trying to tell you something really important. So this has come for us for identifying when Willa is anxious. If we can change the situation, if we're stuck in that situation, then it's knowing how to calm her, like what she needs to feel safe and secure. Really reading not only your dog's body language, but the other dogs while we're walking is super important because Willa definitely seems like she's like bullied a lot on walks by big dogs. They can be really aggressive to her. So just really being on top of your game, paying attention to the situation so that you can come in and protect your dog and be what they need you to be. But one of the things I took away from this was just how to speak to your dog. So be relevant, use terms that they understand. So always just try to make it relevant for the situation that's happening instead of just talking randomly. Be brief. I'm bad with this one. Be short in what you're saying to them. So words that they know, but keep it short. Don't use super long sentences, and be clear. Be really relevant and clear about what you want from the situation, and be brief. Tell the truth. Say only as much as you need to. And again, I'm really bad for that, but you are supposed to keep it short when you're talking to them. Play is a crucial part of a dog's life from puppyhood through adulthood. It helps them develop socially and mentally. Play bows are an invitation, a sign that what follows is playful, even if it looks like it's roughhousing. Animal play, I absolutely love this section so much. So it's actually called self-handicapping, and a lot of animals in the wild who play together do this, which I thought was so cool. But so self-handicapping is when a bigger dog or a smaller dog are playing with a different weight class than them. They'll actually self-handicap based on their play partner to have a more enjoyable joint experience together. Like, I just absolutely love that. And I see this all the time when we were traveling a lot. We were around a lot bigger dogs, and I would see some of these dogs be easy on Willa because they loved her, and it was so sweet, and like she would play as hard as she could, but they were just bigger dogs, and they really did self-handicap in certain situations, which I thought was really cool. So if you want to learn more about this topic of the significance of play, I absolutely love this video that we made. We also tossed in some tips about how to get your dogs to pay attention to fetch so they're not just going off playing, that you are still using some of your commands while you're playing, but and just some things that I learned along the way when making that episode. So I'm going to link that one below. If you want to learn more about that, please go watch that video. I really love that one. But the main takeaway for this one is engage your dog in regular play. It's not just physical exercise, it's mental stimulation, and it's an essential part of your bond. And just keep in mind that play with other dogs help them develop social skills. So try to get some play dates, get them socialized as much as you can, because their play together is just such a beautiful bond for them to have. The human-dog relationship. Living with a dog is a long process of becoming mutually familiar. Each dog has to be taught this set of parameters for his life with people. The dog learns through you the kinds of things that are important to you. Dogs are constantly reading us, our faces, our body language, and even the tone of our voices. They look to us for cues on how to behave, and they are tuned into our emotions in ways that we may not even realize. And it seems like no other animal can do this as well as dogs. Your dog is closely attuned to your face and your expressions, so when they're trying to make eye contact with you across the room, if you speak to them with kindness, you can actually really build your bond with them, because you're saying, I see you, and I see that you're communicating with me, and I'm going to communicate back with you. So a couple ways that dogs can get attention. So I see this one a lot. People post like when they're eating at the dinner table and the dog's coming into your lap because they're trying to get your attention. So they can do that. They can bark at you. They can jump on you. Again, they could just be sitting in the side of the room staring at you. But to other dogs, sometimes they're a little stinker. Willa did this a lot with her traveling, but they might drink out of the other dog's bowl, steal their toys. Like, Willa loves to do this. She annoys the crap out of these dogs, but it's just because she's trying to get their attention. She wants them to chase her and play with her. So she does realize now that not all dogs want that type of behavior, but that's just her way. She just always wants attention from people, from other dogs. She's just trying to get it wherever she can. So just keep that in mind when you are sitting at the dinner table. I've had some people message me about some problems with their Vizslas at the dinner table. So, I mean, the first time is your most important time, right? So if they can get away with something, dogs will use the attention that they're getting and then this reward as saying, oh, I just need to put my head on your lap and beg because I know I'm going to get something. So they also want to not only get away with something, but see how far they can actually push you to keep getting away with bad behavior. So if they're begging at the table, do not give them your eye contact. Do not give them the attention that they're looking for, because once you give them the attention and you give them food, you've just told them you can do this every single dinner time. So just keep in mind that your eyes equal attention, but they also equal knowledge. So your dog is gaining knowledge about how to assess the situation. So we are known by our dogs far better than we know them. Dogs know who we are over and above. How you act defines who you are, and your dog sees how you act. They know who you are. So a key takeaway for this one, just pay attention to how your dog watches you. They're masters of interpreting human behavior. The more mindful you are of your cues, the better you'll be able to understand and communicate with your dog. How dogs experience time. Dogs perceive time differently from humans. While they don't watch clocks, They have an uncanny sense of time based on routines, smells, and cues in their environment, like the position of the sun or the smells that fade over the course of the day. This is why your dog always knows when it's dinner time or when you're about to come home. Stick to routines as much as possible because dogs thrive on consistency, so having regular meal times, walks, and bedtime can help them feel secure and calm. Dogs' emotional lives. Dogs, like humans, experience a range of emotions from happiness to anxiety. Horowitz explains that while they may not feel emotions in the exact way we do, they show clear signs of joy, fear, and attachment. This chapter emphasizes the importance of paying attention to your dog's emotional state. Dogs communicate with each other and humans in subtle, often silent ways. From tail wags to head tilts, dogs convey important messages through their body language. This chapter provides insights into the intricate ways dogs express themselves. Being able to read your dog's body language, whether it's stiffened stance, wagging tail, or flattened ears, can make all the difference in understanding what they're trying to tell you. A dog's love. Horowitz explores the loyalty and affection that dogs exhibit towards humans. While dogs may not love in the same way that humans do, their loyalty is undeniable. They form strong attachments to their human companions and show affection through behaviors like licking, cuddling, or following you around the house. Your dog's constant companionship and eagerness to be by your side is a sign of their loyalty, so returning that affection by spending quality time with them strengthens your bond. Coexisting with canines. The final chapter looks at the unique relationship between humans and dogs. Horowitz discusses how dogs have adapted to live alongside humans, evolving to understand our needs and our emotions. She emphasizes the reciprocal nature of that relationship. Dogs rely on us just as much as we rely on them. The bond between you and your dog is built on a mutual trust and understanding. By learning more about their needs and behaviors, you can improve your relationship and provide them with a happy and fulfilling life. I found one section really interesting, and I have been really wanting to pass along this information to you all. So this is a piece about trainers. So trainers who reference the need for dominance or an alpha based on their wolf ancestors are sadly mistaken. Wolf packs are generally families with the mother and father at the top and a respective age and wisdom within the pack. Thus, we should not think of ourselves as the dominant and our dog as the submissive. We are not a pack. We are a family, so lead with respect. In Inside of a Dog, Alexandra Horowitz opens up a new world of understanding our dogs. From their incredible sense of smell to the ways they perceive time, understanding these key traits can deepen our relationship with them and make us more mindful dog owners. By understanding how dogs experience life, we can create a stronger bond with our pups. So if you haven't read the book yet, I highly recommend picking it up to truly understand the world inside of your dog's mind. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you found this video helpful. Make sure to give it a like and don't forget to subscribe for more tips and insights on how to be the best dog owner you can be. Make sure to leave a comment below. What was the most surprising thing you learned today about your dog's behavior or anything that I missed? Any of my key insights that you want to give feedback on, I would love to hear from you. I hope that you have a great day today. Bye-bye.